secrets lie, the truth awaits. Though time runs by, an answer cries in the night, seeking justice, shining bright. Stories and old and whispers fade, a quest for truth that must be made through endless trails and winding roads. Justice should never go cold. Justice should never go cold. Through the years this fire we hold, in every heart and every soul. Justice should never go cold. Justice should never go cold. We hold in every heart and every soul. Justice should never go cold. Oh. In every heart and never cold. It through the years it's found. Oh. In every heart and every soul. Justice should never go. Of mysteries haunt the past, but truth will rise and light will last through dedication. Bold and strong, we seek the answers all along. Justice should never go cold. Through the years this fire we hold, in every heart and every soul. Justice should never go cold. Justice should never go cold. We hold in every heart and every soul. Justice should never go cold. Cold. We hold in every heart and every soul. Justice should never go cold. Cold. We hold in every heart and every soul. Justice should never go cold. Cold.
Hello, everyone. Heidi says, I have to take my hubby to an appointment in about 20 minutes, but I'll be here until then. Honey, it shouldn't take too long at all. I was hoping more people would got this notification. Again, it was at the last minute, but I've been seeing this on Facebook, and it's really got to the point that it aggravates me. I mean, let's start out with this one. This is a PI. I'm not doxing him. He has been on TV and everything. And as you can see on his Facebook, he's just out there. But it says, Summer Wells, I know what you did. Turn your brothers in and they will go easy on you. You can remain anonymous. Call me at 8, and gives his phone number. This is not about Summer's brothers. Okay, so points for making it clear that he's not talking about the brothers. But notice this first line. I know what you did. Turn your brother in. Let's move on to the next one. Before that one, it was posted, because of the sudden involvement in the Summer Wells case, I've decided to expedite my pursuit of a PI agency and PI license in Tennessee. A burglary? I can't pronounce that word. Y'all know that. Turned abduction? ? Okay, and then we get this. Summer Wells update. Some have wondered about me notifying TBI of the tip I received yesterday. Rest assured, I intend to contact TBI tomorrow when they open up. I received the tip over the weekend. Okay. Now, let me tell you a little something about TBI. You don't have to wait till they open up. They've got a whole website that if you need to report something, you can. But what bothers me about this is this person took and put it on Facebook before reporting it. So if it was a legit tip, why is he blasting it all over social media? And I got to wondering about that. I was like, But, sir, let me show you something. This is what you're supposed to do. I did report what you put on Facebook to TBI. Sure did. Because when you make statements like, I know what you did, turn your brother in and they'll go easy on you. First of all, if you're a PI, you are not law enforcement. You can't guarantee nobody anything. But that right here is my email. Thank you for your submittal to, what is that? A whole website? A whole email that you could send all this into? Tips to TBI at tbitn.gov. But I got to wondering. So, of course, I looked it up. What is the potential consequences for, going to social media before you turn it in? Potential consequences. While not always legally required, failing to report, and what it meant by that is before then it was telling RPIs legally required to report crimes. It says, while not always legally required, but if they're mandated, they are, you all. And in the state of Tennessee, newsflash, everybody that lives there is mandated. But failing to report certain crimes, like those involving child abuse, murder, or elderly abuse, could have serious repercussions for the PI. Hey, little Dev. Hey, Flies. So, I'm seeing all kinds of people on Facebook wondering if these tips are legit. He's a PI. He's got his methods. Let him use his methods. And yes, he has been on a couple, I think, like, what is that channel? But fact is, they've had Bullhorn Betty on there too. The point is this. It's coming up on, I hate even calling it an anniversary date. Don't even really know what to call it, of when Summer went missing. And it seems like every year some junk gets popped off. Stuff like this. On June the 15th, 2021, Summer Moon Utah Wells went missing from her home on Ben Hill Road. We know that as being facts. This tip, if it was legit, going to social media with this information, going as far as putting out, turn your brother in. Do you know what it's got people doing online? Who's got brothers? Does this one have brothers? Does that one have brothers? Do you see where this causes a problem? If this is a legit tip, he just hindered the investigation. What if Summer's out there somewhere? He's went public. He has a tip. Do you think they'd move her? Or even broaden it down a little bit? What if the person that is actually guilty of something that may or may not have. I mean, I'm just giving this just the thread of a possibility of being a true tip. Do you think they're going to stay put until Monday till TBI comes in? I don't think you should have expedited getting your license in Tennessee. I think you should have sat down and started studying a little harder. Rushing some things isn't a plus. You all know I care about this case. Do I cover it all the time? No, I don't beat it in the head because there's no updates. Just like I don't Elena's. But I'm going to tell you, when you see stuff out there being put, and no, he did not report it before he went to the social media, because right here he says, Summerwell's update. Some have wondered about me notifying TBI of the tip I received yesterday. Rest assured, I intend to contact TBI tomorrow when they open up. I received the tip over the weekend. I don't care, sir. I don't care. You could have sent that tip in on their line. You could have. I did. Why not use an email? And this is the one that got me. This is the one that really pushed my buttons. And no, again, I'm not doxing him. He's all over social media talking about this. Summer Wells, I know what you did. Turn your brother in, and they will go easy on you. You can remain anonymous. Call me. Anytime you see anybody saying call me, there is a problem, because he don't even give the option to call TBI. This is not about Summers Brothers. Like I said, props for that. Thanks for clearing that up, because, you know, they've been going at that hard enough here in the last couple days. Look, hey, you know I have your name. Confess where she is. I'm sorry, y'all, but if y'all don't think that is gross, this is not a novel written by Nora Roberts or goodness. I'm sorry. Authors elude me right now. But this is a kid that's been missing way too long. And you've got people out here wanting to draw attention to that, in my opinion, for clicks and views. It is stuff like this that makes me want to get completely out of the true crime genre, because I'm not sure where morals lie anymore. I'm not. Are there some good channels out there? You know there's channels that I support. But sadly, there is more false information going around nowadays than there is actual facts. So you typed timing it more than 48 hours before he said he was going to send it in. Yeah. I'd say he didn't send in nothing. I'd say he sent in nothing. I'm going to tell you, I am that creator. I am that creator that if I find out something, and I think law enforcement may not know this little bit of information, because unlike half of YouTube, I don't think they're going through everybody's channels. I don't think that they've got time to go through all of Facebook. Look at how many kids is missing in Tennessee. I'm going to send it in. Not go public with it. If I found out a tip or something like that, Do you not think I would go to TBI first? Floss is in my chat. She can tell you I've reported stuff to TBI that has never ended up on YouTube. And never will. If Michelle and Dutchie was in here, they'd tell you the same thing. And no, not just in Summer's case. Yeah, Flies, a lot can happen in 48 hours. And how many PIs have we seen out there making a muck out of everything? A bunch. Memphis has several missing kids and no one blinks an eye. Running Bear, that is so sad. It is. It's so sad that some kids get coverage and some kids don't. It's sad when you've got creators going over the same child over and over and over. And I'm not saying there is a thing in this world about wrong with showing that kid's picture. I'm not saying that. That's not me. But when you're doing it and you're trying to get clicks and draw in a bunch of speculation, I'd rather you just leave it alone. I would, because you're not helping anything. Got too many chiefs and not enough Indians. That's a problem. That's a horrible problem, in my opinion. And no, I mean, I may not be no expert, and I don't ever plan on saying I'm an investigator, and I'm sure goodness not no PI. But I tell you what I am. I am a doggone human being that has morals, and I will stand behind them 10 toes down until the day that I die. That I will do. And anybody that thinks there is anything right about that, I don't get it myself. This is Summer Wells. Summer went missing from Ben Hill Road on June the 15th, 2021. There's been a lot of speculation about what happened to this baby, but the fact is, there's been no real updates. None at all. At one point, they were looking for a red truck with a ladder rack on the back of it. Does that truck even really exist? I don't know about that either. Sometimes I wonder if they didn't use that to get an Amber Alert. But she needs found. She deserves to be found. What she don't deserve is all this junk put on her that we have heard. Now, I know I'm going to have a bunch of people say, she's taking up for the parents. I am not, by any means, taking up for parents. But what I won't do is stand here and accuse people when I don't know that they're guilty. Do you know what I know they're guilty of? And this is just from watching with my 2 eyes on the internet. Being unfit parents. Being alcoholics. Now, what their life is on an everyday basis, since I saw them back there a couple years ago getting online, drunk, hitting each other, screaming at each other, I don't know what changes they've made. It's none of my business. None of that is any of my business. From what I can tell, because of regular, just, because it's been blasted all over the place, is, yes, they have lost custody of the 3 boys whose names, stuff like that, I'll not be putting on here. Do they have any kids in their possession right now? No. And as a child advocate, I'm happy with that. Now, does having a dirty home, does being an alcoholic mean they did anything to their kid? No, it don't. But it does make them crappy parents. And that's my opinion. But I don't think it's helping when we got PIs out here acting like they know something when they don't. And if you do know something, then according to Tennessee law, it could have serious repercussions. Because I imagine that this case would fall under these categories. And don't make a post like this if it's full of bluffs and crazy stuff. Like, I know what you did. Turn your brother in and they will go easy on you. Who? Do you have authority over TBI? Do you have authority over the police department? What authority do you have to be able to even say that? Oh, I would never do that. I would never do that. I'm about protecting kids, not putting everything out there. I did the video a couple weeks back. Calling out the fact that Tennessee put a video out there of one of them. And I knew people would run and start trying to make content off of that. You know, true crime channels. Saying they're about true crime. That kid ain't missing. So why blast his face on your screen for everybody in the world? Especially in that interview when being a YouTuber is actually mentioned. How dare you? But a lot did it. There's a lot that wants to sit behind a screen and holler, I am for the children. I'm doing this for the children. And a lot of them are full of bullcrap. Because if you was, you would get off your hind end and do something to make a difference. Something that really makes a difference. In my opinion, this is not only morally wrong, it's dangerous. What if somebody has some or alive and well, and this gets put? That was my point. That's what I said earlier. Or even if the reverse happened, do you think that person is going to say, well, he done knows my name. I better sit right here until Monday morning so he can report it to the TBI because, you know, he's going to report it to the TBI. I shouldn't run or nothing. And I say that because that's how evidently they think these people work. Do you think the people that traffics children is Joe, Mo, and John down the road? No. No. We've got way too many kids going missing. Content and money, you're right, Running Bear. That's all they care about. Like I said, it is times like this that makes me want, and I am seriously considering it, that makes me want to just completely even though I cover cold cases, completely pull out of the true crime community because I am for kids. I don't do it just on YouTube. I do it in my everyday life. Videos don't have to be made of it. When you do a good deed, you don't have to document that. Not if you do it from your heart. I pray for Summer every day. I do too, popcorn and M&Ms. She changed my life forever. And I know there's been a lot of creators that have said that on YouTube, but she did. She changed mine. Not because it made me make a YouTube channel. No, it started out like that before I ever knew what a lot of the true crime community was about. I mean, it started out like that. But she is the very reason that I became a foster parent. Because I knew that nothing I could say behind this screen was going to help a kid. Or was it going to find a kid? But by becoming a foster parent, I knew I could help children. Or at least some of them. And Summer is the reason I did that. Summer is the reason there's 4 kids that got a roof over their head, and I love them and would take a bullet for them. They're mine in every way that matters. Thank you, Running Bear. Thank you. And I have said this before. No, I don't think everybody has to be a foster parent to help kids. There's mentorships. Mentor a kid. Do you got a talent? I mean, I think kind of all of us do. You can volunteer that. You got stuff you're taking to the Goodwill that they're selling for double the price that it's worth? Don't do that. Don't do it for a tax write-off. Take it down and to your local children's home. There's kids there that could use them clothes. There's 101 ways to help kids. And getting on the internet line isn't one of them. Getting on the internet, putting kids' face all over your channel is not one of them. But I tell you what it does do. It lines your pockets, and that's all you're worried about. Oh, I don't need thanked. Popcorn and M&Ms. I mean, I don't. I think strangers are not going to put themselves in situations to get caught. It probably happen, but less likely unless it is a crime of opportunity. That's true too. I mean, I firmly believe there is times of crimes of opportunity. Most of Ted Bundy's, most of his crimes started out as opportunities. I don't know what happened to Summer. Not going to sit here and speculate on what happened to her. I know she's missing. I know at the time she was 5 years old with her whole life ahead of her. I do know that. I don't post my grandkids on Facebook no more. It's been years since I posted them. It's dangerous, Running Bear. It really is. I mean, I see so many people post everything that has to do with their life on social media, and that's taking a chance. I mean, they'll tell people when to rob them. Okay, starting vacation on Tuesday, not coming home till about 12:30 on Monday morning of the following week. I got a housekeeper to watch from 12 to 1 during the day. I mean, they might as well just say, hey, my house is empty. Just break right in there and take whatever you want. They put way too much. Some people need to learn how to shut up. They've mastered the art of being able to speculate and spin lies and terrorize families. I think, if we don't know what happened to these kids, we don't know that their parents are involved, then they're going through enough already. Am I wrong? And I don't think we're qualified to make no arrest, Everybody ain't going around here like Gomer Pyle, citizens arrest, citizens arrest. No, that ain't happening. I mean, there's been some people right here on YouTube take and record another creator's words or a person's words, play them on their channel, and then wait to report that or say they reported it to TBI. A little heads up too. I've called in some of the reports, and guess what? They still sent me an email. So why are those people not showing their receipts? I mean, ain't this the world of receipts? Can't happen if you ain't got a receipt, right? Then why ain't they showing it? So many out there. Oh, don't worry, I have turned this into TBI. Well, prove it. Prove it to me. Because until I see that you did report it to TBI, guess what? I hear about it. I am going to report it to TBI, but now it's going to have your name on it. Yeah, because I'm that creator. I'm that creator. I don't care if you like me. Morals and ethics will come first every single time. People want to dog me. That's fine. I mean, you've did it before. But guess what I'm not doing? I'm not sitting up here on my channel going after family members, pretending that I know so much and that I'm way, way smarter than what I really am. I'm just a country girl that has a heart. And when I started weighing how I could actually help these kids, I thought, actions are better than words. A lot of times this right here is not what I do on my channel. It's not. And if you'll look back, I've been doing the YouTuber Survivor House. You won't know why? Because I got so sick of the drama. I am an adult. An adult. I have grandchildren. I have grown children. And now I have children that I'm fixing to adopt. Starting all over. I'm not about the drama. That's middle school stuff, and I'm not in middle school. And I'm sure not going to get out here and act like I know something when I don't. And I'm not going to put it in writing and slap it on Facebook. Me too, Crystal. Nothing but country. My family comes first. Yes. My family comes first. Well, God comes first. Because he blessed me with my family. He blessed me with them, and he can take them away. So God comes first in my family. But you know what? When God comes first, to me, and this is my belief. Nobody else has to believe the way I do. But when he comes first, you're going to make the moral decision to actually do the right thing. Girl, I got a dirt road right in front of my house. You go through two creeks in the road just to get to my house. I am a survivor as a child. I always listen to the little children when they say things and investigate what they are saying. Yeah. And let's think about this. Those kids have been in the system since July of 2021. That means every week they've been talking to or therapists. Therapists that are trained, you all. And nothing's been said. Now, I did see on Facebook this morning, traumatized kids usually wait till they're adults and then they tell what they know. No. From my experience, and I know all kids are different, there is one word that a traumatized kid will react to. And that's reunification if that child is scared. That's when the kid talks. I'm going to say this, and I'll kind of leave it here. But let's don't believe everything that we see, and we sure don't have to just add to it. We don't. Because that does not help anything. I think it's time to just put our common sense hats on. Yeah, you got to think. If you got a creator that believes a particular way, they're going to spin stuff for you to see things the way they see it, whether it's intentional or not. Right here's what I'm telling everybody to do. If you see something, then say something. You got information? Send it in. Other than that, the misinformation, the disinformation, and the speculation does not help a thing. It don't help nothing. Show that kid's face. Get that out there. Sometimes just reading off a doggone flyer is better than having a 2-hour live talking about what you think may have happened. And I learned the hard way, you all. I had questions in this case. Everybody makes mistakes. A lot of us are like Eve. We know better and don't do better. But until we start doing better, this will continue. Whether it's Summer Wells' case, whether it's Sebastian Rogers' case, whether it's Monkey Vaughn's case, it don't matter. Until we stop entertaining the junk, it's going to continue. And it sure don't help anything. Put a 1 in chat if you've noticed that law enforcement don't give as many updates as they did a couple years ago. Just really curious. We'll take it back 5 years. Put a 1 in the chat. If you haven't seen updates on cases as much as you did in 2020. Let's keep in mind, we was all locked in 2020, so we all paid attention. We either had our phones or the TV to watch. I said put a 1 in chat if you have noticed that law enforcement does not give updates on cases as much as they did in 2020. It can be devastating for a child, especially if they are a child and don't understand what is even happening. Yes. Do y'all think that maybe I see some ones going up at flies? She put her one. Popcorn and M&M, put their one. Little Dev put their one. You think maybe that's because we got some creators out here that run straight to their channel and pop that live button, telling everything they know and a whole bunch that they don't? Think maybe that's why you don't see law enforcement updating us no more? Oh, you're fine, Popcorn. We've got to do better. Like I said, my passion. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail it. Oh, you didn't. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine and dandy. You didn't derail anything, honey. Half the time, my thoughts go from one thing to another anyway, especially when it's a not playing live like this. But I get so sick of seeing junk being posted, and I'm thinking, and then I'll go to the comments like everybody else does, and half of them wonder what they know, wonder what the update is. Well, it must be something because Don's going to do an update too. Ever think maybe he's doing an update because the anniversary is coming up and when Summer went missing? Perhaps, maybe, because they did that every year. I mean, that's a shot in the dark, but it is a possibility. More likely, in my opinion. Exactly. We as the public don't need to know. Now, what do we need to know? Okay, if there is, say, an active person going around with a pew-pew, we need to know about that. That we need to know about. Tornadoes headed in our direction, we need to know about that. What law enforcement knows about a case, we absolutely 100% do not need to know about that. Don't think it can mess a case up? Then you obviously have not watched my series about my uncle. He is a cold case to this day. Was murdered in 1987. His case was mishandled. First time around, the guy was convicted with a life sentence. Got a new trial. Walked. Double jeopardy won't let him be tried again. That's what can happen. And as family that never gets that closure, I can tell you it's gut-wrenching. He is why I am cold case Crystal, because the state of Kentucky wants to call it a closed case. Well, if nobody's did time and you haven't got the alleged suspect, or the guilty party rather, then it should be a cold case, not a closed case. Two different things. So yeah, when I see people meddling in cases where it's potentially harmful, I get upset. When I see people going on panels, prime example, it happened in the Sebastian case. You know, there was a neighbor went up there telling all kinds of things. Now, whether she was telling the truth or lying, I found more lies than the truth. But if that was legitimate, do you think it's going to stand now that she went on a panel? No. If you're called as a witness, they won't even let you sit in the courthouse. They won't. Not until it's your time to testify. How do you prove you wasn't paid? Witnesses can't be paid either. I mean, that automatically, they can't make money off of a case and then be a witness. There's a certain person that claims she is a witness to what, I don't know, but you can't make money off of a case and then claim that you're a witness. That's a conflict of interest right there. Me too, Popcorn. Me too. I have my opinions. I keep it to myself. I do. Because I've not seen anything factual put out there. I saw a creator play a press conference and managed to say that law enforcement had it wrong and went into why the chat ate it up. Of course. Because, I mean, creators know so much more than law enforcement. We so highly decorated. We got all the credentials. Overnight, we become body analysts, speech analysts. We become investigators. Well, doggone, I don't even know what we need the police and the FBI and the TBI and all the eyes. I don't know why we need all them because, I mean, we've got YouTube creators. What are they thinking? And I'm saying that with probably the thickest sarcasm that I can come up with right now. How many people would be in jail right now if what YouTube creators said happened, was the final judgment. The final one. I mean, you guilty. We live in America where you're innocent until proven guilty. Not the other way around. Although some people want to think that. But how many people be locked up right now and later on we watch the trial and find out we didn't know half of it? Anybody watch Leilani's? Anybody remember that? Remember everything that was said? I mean, the boyfriend got the blame by some people. Some people said she was innocent. A lot of people said she's in cahoots with the law. They knew from Jump Street. They just had to get their evidence. Meanwhile, they got a whole circus standing out front just yelling up a storm. Why? Because they thought they were smarter than law enforcement. Yeah, I mean, Popcorn, if you think real hard, you'll know who's called herself a witness 100 times. That's always been something that has really, really, really nagged at me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I was glad to see Leilani was prosecuted. Because if I'm being honest, thought she was guilty from the beginning, but I didn't get on here and say that. My mind goes back to the little girl. The YouTuber said it was stepmom, and the whole time, the FedEx driver. Yep. I watched that go down on Facebook. And they had her just sealed. She had to be guilty. Guilty. FedEx did it. That was in Texas. Didn't take Texas long to find it, figure it out either. Yeah, it was horrible. They was crucifying her. They were crucifying her. She did not do anything, but the damage was done by then. Sometimes I'm sorry is not enough. It's not. I'm sorry does not take away the trauma that people put people through. I would rather keep my opinions to myself and not have to worry if my I'm sorry was enough. Yeah. Yep. She was. Flies. About 30 minutes they had her tried, convicted, and almost hung. And look how many stories went out about Dylan Realms. None of them true. Not one of them. You know, a PI started a bunch of that too. Yeah, it's horrible. But you all, it takes zero effort to be a good human being. You have to actually try to be a bad one. You have to make that effort. He was just a young man trying to figure out life. Yeah, it was sad and it was cut short. Summer had her whole life ahead of her. Her entire life ahead of her. People have come out with some of the most outlandish theories about what happened to Summer. And if I'm being completely honest, one of the first ones I heard was they were taking her to the tool shed, selling her from there. And then somebody just didn't bring her back. Do you know what a warped mind it takes to come up with that? Think about it. To come up with that scenario, you have to have a pretty bad warped mind. I'm guilty of falling for all the nonsense. Then I step back and I put myself in these parents' shoes. Now I look at things different. I regret every day the things I said. I understand, Flies. I mean, I've got aggravated and said stuff before. I have, or had questions. Feel guilty about sometimes having questions. Because then people want to run with the questions I have and then twist them. So that's not safe no more to do. It's not. Just like right now, half Facebook is wondering what this PI knows. Spoiler alert, probably nothing. Probably nothing, or he would have went to TBI before he went to social media. I mean, how hard is it if you have this information not to post? I mean, let's just say you couldn't get a hold of TBI over the weekend. Let's pretend that. And let's pretend all the law enforcement in the area completely disappeared and went off duty. Would it have been too much to ask to hold that information back, report it to TBI, and see if it's okay to put out to the public? How about that? Nope. That's not what happened in this case. So whatever tip he got, if it was legit, it's probably long gone by now. And let's be honest. Think you're going to turn them against each other? Scare them. Maybe they'll tell on each other. They've been dog drunk on panels and haven't said a word. They haven't. Correct me if I'm wrong. I am that person will say, hey, I'm wrong. I mean, and I've always heard that little saying, drunk truth. But guess what hasn't happened? I mean, think about it. That and the fact that the kids haven't said anything, then who am I to accuse somebody? And if y'all hear a baby in the background, it's Mama's with it. But I'm not the person to be accusing somebody. I'm not a judge. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not law enforcement. I'm not TBI or FBI. I'm not Hawkins County Police. Most of us aren't. The only thing that most of us are is potential juror members in whatever state you're in. I mean, there's plenty of questions. Yeah, I agree. There's plenty of questions in this case, Lives. But is it our place to put them out there? I would think that we haven't got no more questions than law enforcement does. Well, I think that if they said anything that incriminated the parents, they would be locked up now. I'm just saying. And like I said, they're bad parents. Yeah, they're guilty. We've seen it. But all them things doesn't make them murderers. Yeah, it does. It jeopardizes the case. I'm not came on here and accuse family members. I don't want you to think that I'm a well sympathizer. I'm not. I've never came on my channel and accused somebody of something and not have no facts to back it up. I didn't even do it in my uncle's case. Do you know it took 2 years to even start covering his case? Do you know why? Because I wanted the documentation and the proof to put on my screen of what I was saying. And that's in my own uncle's case. Yes, I might have been a little biased in that case, but guess what? I think I have the right to. In my opinion, if the boys knew something, they would have had rated the ones online looking for a good home. They would still be in protective custody, not up for adoption, but I could be wrong. Good point. Good point. I don't think that there would be a whole video of them put out by Tennessee, not just an individual. I just pray that when people go into jury pool questions, they are honest on any case. Yes. Yes. I think we have to be open-minded. I mean, regardless, when it comes to a missing kid or a missing person, The only thing that we can do as a creator is tell their story, not fabricate it. Don't add to it. Tell their story. Tell what happened that you know of. And that means, example, Summer Wells went missing from her home on June the 15th, 2001 in the Beach Creek area. That's what we can do. You say, well, what about the swimming hole? What about what Hunter said? What about what his mama said? What about what the neighbor said? Honestly, that's all hearsay. Every bit of it's hearsay. Yes, we have that video of Summer at Warriors Park. But in all honesty, if I'm being completely 100% with you, do we know that that wasn't already on the phone and uploaded? No. Is it likely that it happened that day? Yes. But can we consider it a fact? We can't. All these people in the area that's came out and said this and said that. Could some of it be true? Yes. Could all of it be true? Yes. Could it all be lies? Yes. So can we consider that a fact? No. We cannot consider it a fact. It's hearsay. Now, as an example, and this is the way I see it, say Summer left that hill and was caught on a doorbell cam. And it was put out there with a timestamp. We could consider that a fact. But I'm finding a whole lot of people don't understand the difference between fact and hearsay. And guess what don't stand up in court? I don't want this kid's case butchered. Do I get discouraged? Yes, I do. For crying out loud, it's coming up on another year. Anybody with a heart should be getting discouraged. But whether it's been 1 year or 4, we still can't go around acting like we know stuff we don't. I just pray that when people go into it, okay, it answered it. Let me see here. We know nothing. We just go by what law enforcement has said. Had in the first press conference, it was said Summer was last seen walking away, and in every press conference, matter of fact, from her home in the 100 block of Ben Hill in the Beach Creek community. Yep, that was said. Let me tell you a little something about newspapers and journalists, though. They get it wrong, too. Know how I know that? Because they got it wrong with my house fire. They went with what they thought they knew, and they printed it. According to them, my boys that passed away and my husband was the only ones injured. That was not a fact. That was what they thought. Fact was, I signed myself out of the hospital because they were flying my husband to a burn center, and he was on life support. So they don't even always have the facts. Well, I just wanted to come on here because this is going around, if you see it, until we have law enforcement saying that, yes, there is a legitimate tip came in and this is this and that. I would take it with a grain of salt. I don't care who said it. I would take it with a grain of salt. But let's don't feed into it, because the more we do, the more we're going to see posts like this. And like I said, what was done was wrong. And it wasn't just that. This right here. Some of you have wondered about me notifying the TBI of the tip I received yesterday. Rest assured, I intend to contact TBI tomorrow when they open up. I received the tip over the weekend. So, when you see people wanting to go to social media before they go to law enforcement, they are normally not the people that you need to be trusted, because obviously they don't know the chain of getting stuff done, and they don't know the risk they're running. And that's just the opinion of a little country girl who is in no wise in the middle of law enforcement or API. The only thing I got is common sense, and I thank God for that. Love y'all. Take zero effort to be a good human being. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Gotta build up of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby I have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you, but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side, maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change I need today. I promise that I've never felt this way. I really hope that you will choose to stay through all the pain.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away, as you fade away. known you too long. It hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade